For more than 40 years, the M1 Abrams was not just a tank, it was a 70-ton psychological weapon of American global dominance. It was the king of the desert, a machine built to survive the apocalypse. But let's be brutally honest. Today, that king is not just dying, it is being systematically executed on the modern battlefield. We are witnessing the end of an era. The heavy, loud, and heat-belching monsters of the 20th century have become the biggest, most expensive targets in history. When $1 million tank can be erased by a $500 drone, the geometry of war has changed forever. The Pentagon is scrambling, talking about redesigning the Abrams for the third or fourth time, trying to patch a 1970s philosophy with 2020s tech. But while the West is busy putting bandages on a corpse, South Korea has done something truly offensive to traditional military thinking. They didn't build a better tank, they built a 6th-generation abomination. Meet the K3. This is not a next step in evolution. This is a predator that has leapt over the entire Western arsenal to claim a throne of digital terror. The K3 is the world's first true silent predator, a machine that doesn't just fight the future, it defines it. Developed by Hyundai Rotem, the same industrial titan that builds everything from high-speed trains to steel mills, the K3 is the result of a radical realization. The era of the metal box is over. The South Koreans looked at the smoldering wrecks of T-72s and Abrams in Eastern Europe and decided to start from a blank slate. They designed the K3 with digital integration at its absolute heart. It is more like a stealth aircraft with treads than a traditional battle tank. The most terrifying thing about it doesn't even have an engine in the way you understand it. The K3 is powered by hydrogen fuel cells. Now forget everything you know about green energy or saving the planet. In the world of high-level warfare, hydrogen isn't about the environment. It's about technological injustice. A hydrogen electric drivetrain provides the K3 with 2 tactical advantages that make the Abrams look like a loud, clumsy relic. 0 acoustic signature and minimal heat emission. Traditional diesel engines are loud, vibrating targets that can be heard kilometers away and glow like a sun on infrared sensors. The K3 is different. It operates in a silent mobility mode. Imagine a 60-ton monster moving through the brush at 70 kilometers per hour with almost no engine noise. It doesn't vibrate the ground. It doesn't belch black smoke. It doesn't give the enemy a heat signature to lock onto. It is a ghost in a world of sensors. It allows the K3 to stalk its prey in total silence, making it nearly impossible for modern loitering munitions and infrared-guided missiles to find a target. This isn't just stealth, it is a zero zone of detection that makes every current anti-tank doctrine obsolete. But the abomination goes deeper than the fuel source. The physical shape of the K3 is designed to break the very rules of physics. It uses metamaterials, engineered substances designed to bend and absorb radar wavelengths. While a traditional tank reflects radar waves back to the source, the K3 distorts them. On an enemy's radar screen, this tank doesn't look like a lethal threat. It looks like a glitch, a bird, or a hole in the data. The K3 doesn't rely on being thick to survive. It relies on being mathematically impossible to hit. The South Koreans have looked at the pucker factor, the sheer terror of a crew sitting inside a bomb waiting to go off, and they've solved it with a cold mechanical detachment. For the first time, we have removed the human factor from the most vulnerable part of the tank. The K3 features a completely unmanned turret. There is no loader. There is no gunner sitting in a vulnerable high-profile position. All 3 crew members, the driver, the commander, and the gunner, are sealed inside a heavily armored survival capsule located deep in the forward hull. They are surrounded by layers of modular ceramic, high-hardness steel, and reactive armor designed to detonate outward, disrupting incoming projectiles before they can even touch the capsule. They don't look through windows or tiny periscopes. They see the battlefield through a 360-degree panoramic digital suite, using AI-integrated algorithms that eliminate the fog of war. They are safe in a digital fortress while the machine above them, a robotic 130mm smoothbore cannon, does the killing. The K3 isn't just a tank. It is a land-based stealth predator. It is the answer to the drone swarms and the precision missiles that have made the Abrams a 20th century fossil. Today, we are going to perform a brutal autopsy on the old era and show you why the era of the Abrams is officially dead. Because in the next conflict, you won't hear the monster coming. You'll only know it's there when your sensors go dark and your defenses are erased by a ghost you never saw. Let's talk about the Abomination's brain. In every tank you've ever seen, from the German Leopard to the American Abrams, the turret is the most dangerous place on Earth. It is a cramped steel cage filled with high explosive ammunition and human beings. When a modern anti-tank missile or a drone hits that turret, the result is a jack-in-the-box effect. The ammunition cooks off, the turret is blown clean off the hull, and the crew is incinerated instantly. But the K3 doesn't care about your traditional armor layouts. It has decided that the human factor is a liability that needs to be removed from the line of fire. The K3 features a completely unmanned turret. Think about the tactical injustice of this design. While an Abrams crew is sitting on top of a volatile pile of 120mm shells, the K3 crew is buried deep in the hull, sealed inside a titanium-reinforced survival capsule. They aren't looking through tiny windows. They are immersed in a digital reality. Through a suite of high-speed cameras and sensors, they have a 360-degree panoramic view of the battlefield, potentially integrated directly into their helmets via virtual reality. They don't just see the enemy, they see the battlefield in God mode, with AI-integrated algorithms highlighting threats, tracking targets, and suggesting the most efficient way to kill. And what exactly is doing the killing? A monster needs a weapon, and Hyundai Rotem has equipped the K3 with a 130mm smoothbore cannon. For decades, the 120mm was the standard of Western lethality. But the 120mm has hit its limit. Against the next generation of heavy reactive armor, it is becoming obsolete. The K3's 130mm gun is a massive jump in kinetic energy and range, capable of engaging and deleting targets from over 5 kilometers away with an automated fire control system that removes human error from the equation. It is a sniper rifle that weighs 60 tons. But the real cheating starts with the drones. The K3 doesn't wait for the enemy to appear on its sights. It carries its own integrated drone swarm. From the rear of that unmanned turret, the K3 can launch and recover its own multi-purpose reconnaissance drones. While an Abrams is blind to what's behind the next hill, the K3 has eyes in the sky, streaming real-time data directly into the crew's capsule. This isn't just a tank, it is a command and control hub. It can launch loitering munitions to strike targets it hasn't even seen with its own optics. It eliminates the fog of war through raw digital dominance. Now you might be thinking, if it's so advanced, why not just swarm it with cheap drones? The South Koreans thought of that, and their answer is a defensive matrix that sounds like science fiction. The K3 is designed with an active protection system, APS, that doesn't just wait for an impact, it hunts the threat in flight. It uses jammers to sever the link between a drone and its operator. It uses directional infrared countermeasures, DIRCM, essentially high-powered lasers, to blind the seekers of incoming heat-seeking missiles. The K3 treats drones and missiles as the primary threats they are. It is covered in a modular armor system made of ceramic, steel, and composite materials, designed to be easily replaced if a section is damaged. It features reactive armor that detonates outward to disrupt shaped charged jets from RPGs and heat rounds. And for the ultimate injustice, the K3 is designed to withstand anti-tank mines that would shred a lesser vehicle, meeting the highest NATO standards for mine protection. This is the Abomination in its final form. A silent, hydrogen-powered ghost that can see through walls, launch its own air force, and survive hits that would turn an Abrams into a funeral pyre. It is a machine designed after learning the ugly lessons of modern warfare in places like Ukraine. While the West is trying to figure out how to keep old tanks from being destroyed by $50 grenades, South Korea has built a 6th-generation behemoth that makes the very idea of a fair fight laughable. The K3 is a warning. It is proof that the era of the human-centric, metal-heavy tank is over. We have entered the era of the autonomous predator. And in this new world, if you aren't invisible, if you aren't digital, and if you aren't a monster, you are just a target waiting to be deleted. We are staring at the year 2040. In the world of military procurement, that date is the event horizon. It is the point where today's cutting-edge technology becomes tomorrow's scrap metal. Hyundai Rotem claims that by the time the K3 enters full-scale production in the late 2030s or early 2040s, it will not just be a new tank. It will be the absolute standard for a new era of conflict. But here's the brutal question that the Pentagon is too afraid to ask. Will the tank even matter by then? Or is South Korea building a trillion-dollar masterpiece for a war that has already moved beyond the ground? The skeptics will tell you that the age of the tank is over. They point to drones and precision munitions as the new kings of the battlefield. But the K3 is South Korea's middle finger to the theory. It is a bold 60-ton gamble that the tank isn't obsolete. It was just waiting for its 6th generation awakening. While the West is paralyzed by the fear that tanks are just expensive targets, the Koreans are doubling down on the abomination. They understand that you don't arrive at a 2040 war with nothing but a doctrinal hunch that armor is dead. You arrive with a ghost that can kill anything it sees. Let's talk about the hydrogen gamble. Implementing hydrogen fuel cells into a 60-ton war machine is a logistical nightmare. The costs of extraction and the sheer complexity of transporting hydrogen to a front line are enough to make any general quit. But the tactical payoff is too great to ignore. The K3's hydrogen-electric drivetrain offers a silent mobility mode that provides a level of stealth that diesel engines simply cannot match. When the K3 is idling or moving at slow speeds, it is nearly silent. It has a heat signature so small that it confuses the infrared optics of the very drones that are currently hunting the Abrams into extinction. Even the tracks are made of rubber to reduce noise and vibration. This is not a tank that announces its arrival with a roar and a cloud of black smoke. It is a predator that slides through the shadows, invisible to the heat-seeking missiles and the acoustic sensors of the modern era. The South Koreans aren't just betting on a new fuel. They are betting on a new way to stay alive in a world where everything is being watched. And they aren't building this monster in a vacuum. The regional reality of the Korean Peninsula is a pressure cooker of high-tech violence. North Korea is rapidly expanding its own factories to produce the Tanmar-2 battle tank, a machine designed specifically to close the gap with the South. Meanwhile, China is watching every move. The K3 is the deterrent. It is designed to be the ultimate weapon for a nightmare scenario where Seoul must be defended against a numerical onslaught. It features an AI-enhanced fire control system for automated target tracking that allows it to engage threats before a human brain can even process the danger. It uses satellite communications and high-speed digital suites, CSISE, to integrate with every other drone, satellite, and soldier on the battlefield. The K3 doesn't just fight. It orchestrates the destruction of its enemies through a total command of information. It is a machine designed to survive a 10-kilo TNT explosion directly under its center and keep its crew safe inside their armored capsule. It is the pinnacle of human faith in armored warfare. So here is the verdict. The M1 Abrams was the king of the 20th century, but it is a king without a future. The K3 is the abomination that is here to claim the crown. It is ugly, it is expensive, and it is a logistical monster, but it is the only thing standing between a modern army and total obsolescence. It is the world's first 6th-generation tank, a silent, hydrogen-powered ghost that proves that if you want to win the future, you have to stop being a metal box and start being a monster. Now, I want to hear from you. Is the K3 the ultimate masterpiece of engineering? Or is South Korea wasting billions on a machine that will be killed by a cheap drone before it even reaches the front? Are you Team Legacy with the Abrams? Or are you Team Ghost with the K3? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see the debate. If you're ready to see the end of the old world and the rise of the machines that will redefine reality, smash that like button and subscribe to Ground Force Tech. The era of the Abrams is over. The era of the monster has just begun. Out.